I know. So we're talking about the new album, Faster Than Death. I mean, it was how long did it actually record to record this album? Because it was done in like three studios, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really hard. Well, you're getting some exclusives here, all right? Because it's funny, like I guess I'll let you have it all. Anyways, so we got this offer. The pandemic was going on. It was hard to go in the studios because nobody wanted to be in a studio with a bunch of people they didn't know, and you know, mask. I mean, this is like history happening here. Trying to record an album when people don't even want to be around people because they're scared of, getting COVID-19.
Yeah.
So we get this offer from these Russian guys. I mean, this sounds like a movie already, but these Russian guys have a studio and they're like, listen, we know you guys are pretty known, so we'll let you record for free in our studio if we can let people know that you recorded there, like, use that as a promo thing, and we're like, sure, we're musicians, man, like free studio time. So we go in and it was really tough because also these guys were kind of new to the game. So it was kind of like where they needed, they were like rookies, kind of green behind the ears. So we actually had Bill Matoyer come down to the studio to see, make sure everything was being captured correctly, getting the drums tracks and all that, because we basically tracked the drums first. And it took like 2 days. It should have taken, believe it or not, one, maybe 3 days actually, but it should have taken one because we were so prepared. Like the band was, we rehearsed the material. We really did a lot of pre-production, which is smart, like, but we didn't really need to because it was free recording, but we still did it that way, to save time and money. But so it was tough getting the tracks done, but we actually did it. I was like down there, like, thought I was gonna go crazy because it was just so many things were going on in the studio. So this record to me is more than what the fans even see. They have no idea all the work, headaches, sorrow. Like it was just tough. Getting even the tracks transferred. Once we got the tracks transferred, took a while because when we recorded it, one of the producers went on vacation. And when you have a brand new record recorded, you're like, you want to just get it done and get it to the next guy. It's a
Yeah.
process. It's a
Mm.
real process. So finally, we get the tracks to Matoyer, and then we started tracking at his place in North Hollywood, Skull Seven Studios, and that was going great because Matoyer is more professional. He's been doing it a long time, and we were getting the tones that we wanted for the guitars, and then we did the bass there as well and the vocals. Pretty much the rest of the process was done at Matoya's studio, and he knows how to work with me because I've worked with him for decades. The first Hirax record we did with Bill Matoya. So we got all that stuff done. Worked really hard. He worked me hard too because he's known me so he can talk to me probably the way no other producer can talk to me
It's
like
like,
a
hey, motherfucker, get that shit
yeah.
done right.
Get back in the fucking studio and fucking stop complaining. Just sing the way I tell you to sing. And also, he's great at catching mistakes. So if you're making mistakes as a vocalist, he'll go, "You could." Basically, what he always would tell me, "You can do better than that." Or like I'd say, "Is that good?" And he go, "Well, what do you think?" And I'd be like, "Okay, I'll do it again." So
that's
he's like,
that's basically saying it's shit. Go on,
yeah,
Kate, and do it again.
yeah,
That's what he's saying
yeah.
to
He's
you.
like he's like cracking the whip. Like if you're a horse, he will crack the whip and ride you until you get everything that's the way he wants it done.
But it's good for you and your own interest, isn't it? Professionally,
Yeah,
get it done
yeah.
right for you guys.
It, it's really good because he gets the best out of me. Like, and that's what you want from a producer. You don't want somebody that's telling you, "Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's good enough." You don't want it. That's good enough. You want to give it the best because also the fans that buy these records, man. Like, I'm a fan of music too, and I know when I get records, I want performances that are the best that the artist could give.
Yeah.
So we get that finished, and then it's comes time to start mixing the record. But Matoria had a lot going on. He's working with a lot of bands too at that time, and you know, I just felt like he's my friend, so I can tell him that this is not going fast enough for me, and so he was actually really cool about it. I mean, he didn't want to like. It's like his baby too. He didn't really want to give up the project, but we had to get it done. And the good thing though is for the people that actually got the tour, there was like a tour EP single that we did. for when we toured Europe because we did a tour this last summer, and that EP is the 4 songs that Matoyer mixed. So those mixes are different than the album.
All
And
right, okay.
yeah,
Oh,
so whoever gets that single, which is not like it's not even going to be streaming. That we made that because we're old school. We made that exclusive to that. Like if I was a fan, I'd want to buy a single that's nowhere else. It's only on that single.
so it's Faster Than Death, the EP.
Yeah, the EP is the Matoyer mixes, and then from there it went to Max Norman, and the album's all Max Norman. That's his mixes and his attention to detail. And
So I could
so
ask you a question then. Which is your favourite, Bill Matoya version or Max Norman?
believe it or not, like I love the Matoyer mixes, but the Max Norman, I feel like he just really took it to where we wanted it to go. Because when he sent him back, like he even did a mix. There's a song on the record called Revenant. That was the first song that Max Norman mixed, and when he sent it to me, I was like, I know we're going in the right direction. And he was a pleasure to work with. Like he's not a rock star, even though he could be. Like some producers are like they're bigger rock stars than the bands, but I felt like Max Norman was being a team player, and he would get back to me and he'd send me mixes and ask me what I thought. Like he really worked really well with me. Not saying that Matoria didn't, because Matoria is he's like family to me, but Max Norman was a nice addition to finishing this record, and it's going to be one of those records that I look back on very fondly. So I'm happy with it. But I'd say the Max Norman mix is like it's not a put down to the what Matoria did. I think that actually Matoria didn't have enough time, and Max Norman did.
You
You
haven't.
know?
You are not the first band that Max has worked with, being a thrash band. If I believe rightly, Flotsam and Jetsam's worked with him. A few other
Yeah,
bands.
he's worked. Yeah, and he also worked with a Annihilator from Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
He's done. I mean, I'm sure there's more because these resumes are not easy to read. They're like it's like a phone book. But yeah, he's done a lot of great stuff, and he had done records that I love. Like besides even the Ozzy stuff, he did some Loudness records, and Loudness is one of my favorite Japanese bands of
I
all
actually
time.
worked with those guys at a festival, drum teching for the drummer.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
nice guys, nice guys.
yeah, and I'm sure they're really nice. And also, Akira is such a damn good guitar player. And he did some of the YNT records. So we got the right guy, and it was like for me, it's like also great that I get to work with these kind of artists. Who I mean, if you think about it, Hirax is an old school
Yeah.
thrash metal band. We came out of a garage, so for us to be working with these legendary producers is amazing.
Would you work with both of them again? Obviously, we've done Bill, but
Yeah,
would you work with Max again?
I actually would. I mean, I think that we got a good relationship. I mean, I could be wrong because you never know. People, I'm speaking for myself,
Yeah.
but I think we had a really good relationship. I'm still in touch with both of them. It's almost like we just gave birth to a child, so we're watching it walk. So yeah, me and Max are still in very good contact, and me and Matoya will always be. I think what's kind of cool about me and him is that we've been through so much over the years. You as friends, you kind of learn that times change, but you still are the same friends that we started out. Like I'm lucky with Matoya; he's been around a long time. I think we kind of have the same fucked up sense of humor anyways. So, like we'll look back on this like, yeah, well, we had to make some changes, but we still work together. It's the best of both worlds, I think. He's still a part of it, and it's all good. But Max Norman's a hell of a producer, and to have him on a record like this, like Faster Than Death, benefited from his production, so it's a good thing.
Right then. So, what's your favorite songs from the new album? Do you have any favorites?
Yeah, I mean, I drill into the brain just for some reason. I mean, that's why it's the opening track, and
With the
I think it says it all.
at the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah. So, drill into the brain is one of my favorites. I like Relentless, especially because it stops abruptly and it's got the glass breaking. Um, Revenant is one
Was
of
that
those.
was that an idea from Judas Priest with the cookery for metal gods when they had the cookery and the shaking it in the studio?
Yeah, obviously, you grew up on a band like I think even if we didn't notice it, we would look back and go, maybe in the back of our head, Priest is always there. So there's going to be a little bit of Priest in there. And the cookery, that's great that not everybody remembers that, but that's off, I think, British Steel.
It
They
is, yeah,
used
it's Metal
that.
Gods, the beginning
Yeah,
of that
they
song.
were I think they were working at like John Lennon or somebody's
Yeah, that's
studio.
right. Yeah, yeah, it's a house. Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I mean that's good stuff because you get that effect with it. But Revenant was a piece of work. That was like the toughest song that we did on the whole record because there were certain sections that we, had to go back over and we were making sure that we liked. So that one I'll always remember putting that together. It took the longest to put together. And then some of the songs just came together fast, Obviously Drill on the Brain was one of those just natural things where we busted it out and it probably took us like 3 minutes to write. There's a song at the end of the record called World's End. That was pretty quick. I mean, we had a little bit of finessing. When you're writing, you're always kind of listening from an outside perspective. Um, the weirdest song, this is a good story, was Psychiatric Ward, which makes sense because it's such a crazy tune.
goes in well
And
with the Drilling of the Brain song as well, doesn't it?
yeah, I
Psychiatric
mean,
ward, kind of same sort of vibe.
yeah. Well, you know what's behind it too, and this is good for me to tell you. So it's a good little insight into the record. Besides mental illness, I also wanted to make it not too sad. I didn't want to because I think that people can overcome things if they get the right help or if they even look inside themselves. Sometimes with humans, you know, people don't remember that they are awesome, and they need to remember that even through the shitty times in life. Sometimes you got to also lean on yourself, not just other people. It's good to get help,
Yeah,
but I think sometimes you got to remember you're a badass. You're a good person. Just try to hang in there because sometimes it only takes a day. And the next day you'll feel that much better. I think that's the biggest problem. Is sometimes people don't hang on one more day, or try to talk to somebody, even talk to just a friend, whatever. Maybe be honest with them. Tell them you don't feel good. You feel like shit. Life sucks, whatever. But at least get it out. But
yeah.
the cool thing about both of those songs is a little bit of there's a movie called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh yeah, that's Jack Nichols.
Yeah, so Drill into the Brains based on the scene where they basically give Jack Nicholson a lobotomy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but that movie was also an uplifting movie. At the end when the big Indian guy breaks out of the insane asylum, it's awesome. You know, so I think that sometimes you got to take a little bit of both and mix it in there, and the songs really make me proud because there's a lot behind them. Like I said, when people read the lyric sheet and they delve more into the record, they're gonna see that. There's a song on there called Armageddon, which was based on when we saw the stuff that happened here in America when people were just going crazy and attacking things. Like I think that was January 6th. So it doesn't matter what side of politics you're on because we're not really a political band. I mean, we
No.
have things to say, but we don't.
Politics suck as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
but I think that at the same time we all do get a lot of the same news. So it's just from that perspective of watching the news and just going, what the hell is going on? Which I think we all do quite a bit nowadays. You watch the news and you're like, fucking, it's sensory overload. And I think that we all got to kind of put it in the right perspective. It doesn't mean that we feel a certain way either way. We're just kind of in the middle of all this shit.
Yeah. So Armageddon Records. How did you get hooked up with these guys?
It's awesome, awesome story. So the first two albums were being reissued, and I didn't even know it. Like that's what's crazy when you're in an old school band. Your records could be reissued, and nobody tells you. They just go and reissue them. But I always like to work with people that are straight, straight shooters. Like they'll tell you it like it is, whether you like it or not. But the president from Armageddon label contacted me, and he said, "I don't know if you know this, but we're putting out your first two albums." And I said I didn't know. And I thought it was awesome that he contacted me himself to tell me that because he had gotten a hold of Metal Blade Records and he got the okay from them.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know why Metal Blade Records didn't contact me and let me know as well because I'm still around and I'm still touring. It would kind of help. So I liked his honesty so much. It was Armageddon label. I'm like, well, when the next record comes up, I think I'll talk to you about you putting it out. And he's way like what we want, like what we're about, independent. He does all the shit himself. He, gets it out to the distributors, and he's done really well. So it's a great label where we get to be ourselves, and we got somebody that is looking out for us, cares about the music, Like these guys actually care about the music. Same with the label that we have in Europe. We have a label there called Dementia Records out of the Czech Republic.
I don't know
And
those.
yeah, they're doing our record there. That for the Europeans, man, they're getting a hell of a package. Like not same with the US version too, but both these labels are people that care about the music and the artist and just the packaging even. Like even the way they ship these records, it's unreal. Like when the fans get them, I have full confidence that they're getting 100% excellent product. I mean, these guys are packaging the records so nicely that they arrive without any damage. I mean, they're putting a lot into it. Like they're not just shipping them out, like just trying to fast ship these records out. They're actually putting love and protection around these records so they show up mint condition. Because you know how record collectors are, they're fucking hardcore. They
Yeah,
want their records to be perfect when they get there, and that's the way these records are being done. So we're working with people that are 100% about the music, and that's what we need.
right. So, are you going to be touring for this new album, especially in the UK? Because you've only played the Hammerfest, I believe, and maybe
Yeah,
the odd English show. Why do you
yeah.
not come to England? Is it because of Brexit? What's the situation with you guys in England?
Well, no, the thing is, it's it's not a big rock star thing either. It's not all about the money, but a little bit of that does creep into because when you got to take ferries across, to get over to England and like even have your equipment on the ferry that costs money. And like last time we went, which was last year, we did a small, quick run to the UK, but it's really expensive. Like just we took our mobile home on the ferry with the equipment, and all that stuff that they charge you for. Like we had to go to a way station, and you have to go to like three checkpoints before you can even get into the UK. But we love it there. Like what's great, like I said, the UK fans are man. There's nobody like them. I mean, you have all these different countries, but once you get to the UK, I mean, they show up to the shows early. They're having their pints of beer. They show up as with their friends, and they just, it's a really awesome thing. Like I was really stoked the last time we went through the UK, but we need to get there more. Like we should probably play there once or twice a year, easy.
Well, I can tell
Uh,
you one thing. I know Dark Angel are touring the UK soon in honor of Jim Durkin. Maybe you should
yeah,
speak to your old friend Gene, see if you can
yeah,
get
yeah,
some
yeah,
parts. Have a word with him.
yeah. Well, we're definitely in contact. Their manager has been talking to us about a few things. It's a great package. If we can make it happen, us and Dark Angel it'd be smoking every night. So we'll work on that. And like I said, back to the UK, it's just important that we do get back there. We know that we have a good fan base there. It's just a matter of making it happen and making it also financially viable to do. Because like I said, even not just the UK, but touring Europe in general is pretty expensive. Like people would be amazed that there's tolls just to go through certain countries.
I know when I was touring with Anvil last year, we was out on the road for 9 weeks. So I
I
did
bet
it.
you saw what the tolls were like. I mean, some of them are like $75 to $100 just to go through one area.
Yeah,
It's crazy. And we see if you tour the states, even though there's distance, but we don't have any of that toll stuff. And if it is, it's like a cheap toll to get over a bridge.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's just a little bit of that, but you have to kind of balance what can work. We will be we start touring this month actually here. We start in the States. We're going to start in Texas, and we've
Okay.
got a few different festivals we're doing, and then we'll be back in Europe probably around I think August or somewhere around there,
Are
October.
you doing any festivals like Wacken or any of those festivals this year?
We did that last year. What we try to do, especially since we have certain amount of time we can do things, but this year we'll probably start off with South America. That'll probably be one of our bigger tours. But we will get back to Europe because that's like I said, it's very important. And we haven't even played Ireland, which is nuts. Like we played pretty much all through the UK area, but we did Scotland, but we haven't done Ireland, which to
You've got
me
to
is
go to Dublin. You've got to go and see Phil Lynnett's memorial
yeah.
statue.
I'll definitely make a visit there and pay my respects.
I did last time I was there. I had a beer and just
Oh,
checked it out.
that's perfect. But yeah, so touring's gonna start. The record. What's good about having the new Faster Than Death album? Now it's time. Like we kind of waited because you have to kind of time it together. But now that we have a new record out there, it's good to get back out. And it also, when you do a new record, it pulls attention to the old records as well.
Yeah, people are gonna check out your old material, not realizing you've done 5 or 6 albums.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing that that happens, but that's kind of I think why the record companies they tell you put out a new record because they also want the back catalog. It's like I can see why Metallica's still releasing records to this day because can you imagine every time they release a record, some kid's got to go back and get Master of Puppets as well, you know?
Yeah. So, what album reviews have you been getting so far before we finish this interview? What
Excellent.
reviews?
It's been excellent, and I'm not just saying that. What's even cool, even the bad reviews are great. So that's when you know you got something like this record special. But there was one review that was bad that I thought was awesome because the guy was like, "It's not modern sounding. These guys are, they're not up to date." It's like, no, you're missing the whole point. We're not trying to sound modern. So I thought to me that should be one of the reviews we use because people that know this kind of music would be like, it sounds like the perfect kind of record for me. I feel like the bad reviews remind me because you got to remember a band like Black Sabbath. They got totally panned and like their early reviews were horrible. Sometimes I think, and I would like to say this to other younger bands coming up, like even if you get some bad reviews, that doesn't mean that could be actually a good thing. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing
Take it
always.
on board as criticism.
Yeah, and also I think it's also like it's a sign of rebellion. Like if you do get bad reviews, keep pushing on because you're gonna build your own fan base. Your fans, they don't listen to all those critics. I mean,
Yeah.
critics, I get it, but that's not the end of the ball game. Like, but for us, it's been pretty much the other way. So many great reviews. Like today, I'm gonna try to go through them because I think I should take some and use them as
I'll
letting
send
people.
you my review when I get it online. I'm going to do it this week sometime, and I'll send you it on
That'd be
Facebook.
great. Yeah. No, the reviews have been like 9 out of 10, 10, 10. Like it's nuts. Even the lower reviews are like 7 out of 10, and that's still good. As long as
I'll give you 2 out of 5. How's that?
but I look at it this way, as long as you like if it's 10 out of 10, as long as it's not below 5, because that's when it starts getting bad. Or like say if it's 5, 5 out of 5, or you get 2 out of 5, that's when you should start worrying. But it hasn't been like that. I mean, I usually try not to even look at reviews, but this record for some reason, even the label guys are sending me reviews because they're like, dude, you got to see these reviews. So it's surprising, but because I never think like that. I never think, this is gonna be that kind of a record. I just put out records that I like, and hopefully everybody else will like them. But this has been really cool. Like it's just the first week really that this record's out. I want to let it be out there for a couple of months, and then I'd like to see what's going on. I think that a lot of kids that are in the underground are just gonna pick it up and start. Like guys are telling me they're buying copies for their buddy. And that reminds me of the old days because that's where we were. If we got a good record and we had a good friend, we'd be like, I'm going to buy him a copy, which also helps the band, anyways. Like, we are still an independent band. We still do everything ourselves, but we're proud of that. Like, I guess I just was one of those crazy guys. The more I did this, I'm like, it's actually better for us to be independent because we can license our records with who we want. Like
Yeah.
if we used to sign deals, like this is what happened with the last record. We signed a deal that was for when especially me now, I'm 61. So if I sign a record deal for 5 years, I'm going to be either not around or maybe just too damn old, or maybe it's just like, it's not really that, but it's like, do I have that much time to wait 5 years?
Yeah.
Because if that deal doesn't work out, my record's on hold for 5 years. I'd rather be able to do like I do now. And like, if the label doesn't work good, I'll switch it to another label once we run out of the pressing of that record.
Yeah. Right.
But so far, the guys that we work with are great. Like even when we did the last European tour, the label traveled to see us from the Czech Republic, and it wasn't close to where we were playing at, but they came out, and that shows a lot of love for the band. So when you have people like that putting your records out, I think we're in pretty good hands. So far, it looks great. I mean, you never know; it could go shitty, but
Yeah.
for right now, it looks really good.
I've never actually seen Hirax live yet, but I always go to Headbangers Open Air Festival, so maybe one day you'll come back there.
Yeah,
I know you played
that's
there.
out of the hard old school hardcore festivals. That's one of my favorites. I think we played it 2 or 3 times. We should go back because
It's great. It's just a garden
yeah.
party. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's totally brilliant. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy you brought that up, and you're wearing the shirt. But they hit us up this year, but it just timing wasn't right. Like
Oh,
they
that
wanted
sucks,
to
man.
do,
I'm going this year as well.
yeah, they wanted us to play this year, and hopefully we'll get back there next year. But it is an awesome festival. We played it many years ago, and we played it a few times after that. But I just knew the first time we played, I couldn't believe it because it's like basically in a beer garden,
Yeah.
a very big beer garden, but it's an excellent festival. So yeah, when you go, enjoy yourself. I love that thing.
Brilliant. Katon, I want to thank you for doing this interview. God bless you, my friend. Do you have anything to say to the people watching this on YouTube?
Yeah, thanks for the support. And now that Faster Than Death, the new Hirax album is out, we will be out there touring. We look forward to seeing all of our brothers and sisters all over the world. We've been very fortunate that we're still around doing this, and it's only because of you supporting what we do. So thank you. Stay metal. Hey, my pleasure talking to you,
You
man.
too, man. Thanks, Katon. God bless,
All
brother.
right, you have a good rest of your day.
And you, my friend. Thank you.
All right, brother. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.